xenophobic violence rocks Johannesburg. A closer look at the potential for growth in Africa's farming sector. And which stars made Time magazine's 2015 100 influential list. Africa 54 starts right now.
Hello and welcome. I'm Vincent McCory. This is Africa 54. Now, foreign-owned businesses in downtown Johannesburg were looted again overnight in the latest in a series of anti-foreign violence in South Africa. Police said they'd arrested 22 people in connection with the attacks. Residents of one hostel set up burning barricades on Friday, while foreign workers nearby began clearing up after a local car garage was firebombed overnight on Thursday. South Africa has been hit by a wave of violence against African and other immigrants in the last 2 weeks, which has killed 4 people. Some accuse the foreigners of taking their jobs in a country where the unemployment rates stand at 24%. South African Minister for International Relations described the attacks as a threat to our historical achievement as a nation, she said.
The recent attacks on foreign nationals, particularly fellow Africans from various African countries, are a threat to our historical achievements as a nation. Moreover, the attacks go against the democratic values enshrined in the South African Constitution.
Well, violence in South Africa flared days after a Zulu King Goodwill Zwelithini said in remarks reported by local media that foreigners should leave South Africa. He has since said his comments were misinterpreted. Now, for some perspective, I'm joined by Shadrach Guto, professor and legal expert at the University of South Africa in Pretoria. Professor Guto, welcome to Africa 54.
Thank you very much, and I greet your viewers and
Thank
listeners.
you. Thank you. Now, people are looking at this with a lot of interest because it looks like in the last few days it's just been spreading. Tell us, what has triggered these recent attacks?
The reasons are complex and many. It is not only one, but I think this is not the first time it has happened in South Africa. We've had some attacks in 2005, but then again 2008, and the 2008 was very serious. A lot of people were killed, so-called foreigners, mainly people from other African countries. No single European or white person has been killed, and we have a lot of them who are foreigners. No Chinese has been killed or vandalized and so on. So the narrative this time around is that we are dealing here with a phenomena of xenophobia and Afrophobia in particular.
Yes.
But be that as it may, I think the claims that are made by those who are looting and destroying businesses, small businesses run by people from Nigeria, from Malawi, from Zimbabwe, from Somalia, from Ethiopia, and so on, they are, first of all, saying these people are taking our jobs, as you said.
No.
Some are saying these people are taking our women, which is a patriarchal paradigm. Women are not saying that. It's the men making those kind of statements.
Yeah. Now,
And,
Professor,
yeah.
what possibly can be the solution to this issue?
Well, the solution, in my view, is leadership. We lack leadership that is resolute. And when these attacks occur, now we are going to the second week, and we haven't had strong leadership from the top. It is only, yesterday or the day before that the president read some statements in Parliament, but they were lukewarm. They were not really one which is saying never can we allow this in South Africa. So I would say is that lack of leadership. The voices we have heard strongly coming out was that of the Minister for Home Affairs, who has been calling this by its name, xenophobia and Afrophobia. But the others are saying, oh, these are just little criminals and so on.
Professor Guto will continue this conversation. Thank you very much. Shadrach Guto is a professor and legal expert at the University of South Africa in Pretoria. Now, UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon has called on for an immediate ceasefire in Yemen, where a Sunni Arab-led coalition is conducting airstrikes against Shia rebels. Earlier, Yemen's newly appointed Vice President Khalid Baha appealed to all military groups not to expand the conflict. At least 700 people have died since the Saudi Arabia-led coalition began airstrikes 3 weeks ago against the Houthi rebels, which are believed to be backed by Iran. The UN Special Envoy to Yemen, the Morocco-born Jamal Bonamar, left his post after failing to bring both sides together for peace talks. Well, Italian police arrested 15 African men suspected of throwing about a dozen Christians from a migrant boat in the Mediterranean Sea on Thursday as the crisis off the coast of southern Italy intensified. Police in the Sicilian capital Palermo said they had arrested the men from Ivory Coast, Mali and Senegal after survivors reported they had thrown 12 people to their deaths and threatened other Christians. The 15 were arrested on charges of multiple homicide motivated by religious hatred. The International Organization for Migration estimates around 20,000 migrants have reached the Italian coast this year, fewer than arrived in the first 4 months of last year, but the number of deaths has risen almost ninefold. Now, the World Bank is offering another $650 million to help Guinea, Liberia, and Sierra Leone recover from the devastating Ebola epidemic. Before Ebola, these nations had one of the highest economic growth rates in Africa, but the crisis closed markets, crimped trade, and forced schools and workplaces to close. In a World Bank meeting, the presidents of the three nations thanked international organizations and other nations for sending millions of dollars and thousands of people to help fight the epidemic. Sierra Leone's President Ernst Bai Koroma said it will take even more hard work to get to zero Ebola cases. Jim Yong, World Bank president, says as long as one case of this terrible virus remains, it is a threat to these countries and the world.
The Ebola crisis has dealt a crippling blow to the millions of people in Guinea, Liberia, and Sierra Leone. And the epidemic is not over. So the world must not let up on efforts to get to zero Ebola cases in all three countries. For as long as one case of this deadly virus remains, the countries, region, and the world will remain at risk.
But the road to zero could be bumpy, and it has always been bumpy. So we urge that we remain coordinated in our drawdown plans. Secondly, we have to start the road to recovery. As indicated in the presentation, our economies have been badly affected, our social activities down. It is a long way to recovery.
Well, the World Bank says that three relatively small nations have been badly hurt by the Ebola epidemic, losing over $2 billion and a drop in commodity prices. Now, for more on the World Bank meetings on the West Africa Ebola crisis, I'm joined by VOA's Jim Randall. Jim, welcome back.
Thank you very much.
Yes, now you were at these meetings. You listened to this leaders' talk. What was one of the most remarkable or rather outstanding observation did you make?
Well, a couple of things. One is that it's been devastating. We kind of knew that, but they've come up with new figures on just how devastating, and they've done a lot of interesting and innovative research to find out, to track the economy. The other thing is that it's pretty clear that it's going to be a long road back, and everybody grasps that, and it's going to take this money and others. It was sort of encouraging to see not just the World Bank, but many other organizations sitting around this big table coming up with more money and trying to come up with ways to restart the economy, because they see that as a way to build the kinds of things that will prevent another outbreak.
Yes. Now, one thing one wonders is, was there, from what you hear them saying, any sense of preparedness, especially structurally, from the economic front?
Well, they're trying very hard to get people back to work, particularly in the agriculture sector, because if people are working, then they're paying taxes. If the government has revenue, the government can build hospitals and roads and infrastructure, the kinds of things needed to water and sanitation, the kinds of things needed to provide a defense against future outbreaks.
Yes, and in terms of what needs to be done, say, by not only the World Bank, but also countries like the United States, what more can be done beyond what has been promised?
Well, they've promised a lot and they've done a lot, but there's a huge amount yet to be done. I think it's pretty basic, though. I think it's basically get the economy going, get people back to work, and do something to rebuild confidence so that foreign investors and foreign companies will come back and hire people. Once the economy is going, there'll be enough revenue to build waterworks and hospitals, which are desperately needed.
Do you get the sense that they're still kind of scared
of course they are. I mean, how could they not be? I mean, Dr. Kim made it as clear as he could, saying, look, as long as there's one case, this thing could explode again. They're trying very hard to beware.
Which is even worse for those from outside, like investors who are worried of, going in, even when they're being reassured that,
it's about confidence, and they have to reassure the investors that they can reasonably expect to get a return on their investment, or they're going to take their money somewhere else. And these countries need investment, they need growth, they need an economy, and restoring confidence is a big step toward making that happen.
And then going back to rebuild the structures that have been seriously damaged, including the drop in commodity prices. How do you bring that up?
Well, that's the whim of the market. I mean, there's not that really has, that's not the fault or anything of these countries. It's just that a global slowdown has cut demand for their product.
Yeah. Okay. So tell us what else do you think you would want to share out of your observations and coverage that I haven't asked you?
I looked at these three presidents and they seemed exhausted, and like they'd been through a very, very difficult time. And of course they have. And how could they not be exhausted? But they're kind of, it just seemed like you just wanted to kind of fix them a cup of tea or something and help them out. You know?
Yeah, because it's kind of been going on, it looks like forever.
It's been a very, very long, well, it's more than a year, and it's been incredibly difficult for them.
Wow. We just hope for the best. Jim, thanks a lot for
My
joining
pleasure.
us today. Our viewer is Jim Randall. We want to know what you think about Africa 54 and the stories we cover. Join the conversation on Facebook. The address is Africa 54. And check out our headlines 24/7 on voaafrica.com. Coming up, the growing potential of Africa's agricultural sectors. Stay with us.
Chibok girls, still missing but not forgotten. Join us for a special program commemorating the anniversary of their kidnapping.
I'm Milar Sega. I'm the host of VOA's The Correspondence, a roundup of the world's top stories with analysis from our dedicated reporters. It's really a conversation the same way that you would bring a friend to your home and ask them what's going on. In our correspondence, we'll do that and answer those questions through their own eyes.
That appears a false choice in more ways than one.
We can't actually put you there, but we can come pretty close. In 30 minutes, we'll show you the world.
Well, the Food and Agriculture Organization says that agriculture is the only sector that can absorb Africa's growing workforce over the next 35 years. Home to a quarter of the world's fertile land, but only 10% of global agricultural output. The potential for growth in Africa's farming sector is clear, yet the continent is also home to millions who are chronically hungry. How can African farmers invest profitably in agriculture and expand their market space? Now, to get some insights, I'm joined by Jacob Maga, CEO, PanAfrican Exchange, PanEx, a Pan-African focused international exchange for commodities. Jacob, welcome to Africa 54.
Thank you very much, Makori.
Now, you look like you're the solution to the future of agriculture in Africa. Tell us a little bit about PanEx in as few words as you can.
PanEx is a commodities exchange. Mainly, we offer derivatives, that's futures, options, and we also offer financing through electronic warehouse receipt financing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead.
Right now, we are launching in Zambia, Ivory Coast, Uganda, and Malawi.
Now, let's break it down. Most of the African farmers are small-scale subsistence farmers. Some are trying to break out into commercial farming. How do you make this make sense to them?
The way we make it sense to make it sense to them is to break it down into very small pieces. As you know, Africa has the highest growth of mobile technology. So we went back and engineered all the platforms for them to be mobile ready. So a farmer out in the village can know the price of maize before they plant it, or coffee, and they can also get financing through our platform. They also have access to the entire world market, not to their local broker anymore. Yeah. And that attracts a lot of, way more people. Yeah. And what we want to do for us and what is different, we want to concentrate on the young farmers. Mm-hmm. Because these guys, they don't want to do the work because maybe their parents did it. But to show them that it's profitable, then you change their mindset.
Okay, now tell me, you're talking now to a young farmer in my village, a place called Keroka in Kisii in Kenya.
Right.
Tell him how he can use this to go beyond his village in Keroka and trade with somebody in another country. And how does he do that anyway?
Absolutely. Now, as a young farmer in the village, they are very savvy. You have, right now, Facebook has the highest growth of any platform in Africa. About 40% of everyone who has a phone in Africa has a Facebook account. So for us, we're using the same concept. You open your phone and you download the application. Once you download the application on the phone, you're able to see the world prices. Yeah. And you can decide as a farmer now, do I want to really plant maize this season? Because it's fairly profitable, or do I want to plant maybe beans, which will offer me 3-4 times the price of maize?
Is this kind of providing you prices at the local level, say in the smaller towns, or is it just giving you a national price gauge, say for Kenya or Zambia or Ivory Coast?
It will give you the national price gauge. Mm-hmm. Now, what is important to realize is there is nothing local anymore. Everyone is interconnected. Yeah. And we are living in a very small world through technology. So you will be able to see the prices of maize in Nairobi, which is the capital, or Lusaka, or Code in Abidjan. So once you see the prices that are being paid in these areas, you can say to transport maize from maybe Keroka to Nairobi will cost me 50 shillings. Yeah. And I can sell that maize in Nairobi for maybe 1,000. Do I want to sell it to the local trader at 500? No. I'll use my 50 shillings, transport the maize, and sell it in Nairobi. And the good thing with the exchange, you don't actually have to transport it. You take it to our certified warehouses, you leave your maize there, and you go to your phone and hit sell.
So tell very quickly, you have warehouses where small farmers can actually bring their produce and you purchase them, or they sell them through you?
They sell them through the exchange.
Yeah.
So the small-scale farmers, they take their produce to the warehouses, they are issued an electronic warehouse receipt, and they can sell through the exchange. Or rather, or even they can go to the bank and say, I have an electronic warehouse receipt. Can you offer me financing for my using my produce as a guarantee? Mm-hmm. And banks are very happy to participate in that.
And it doesn't matter how big or small a farmer you are.
It doesn't matter how big or small a farmer you are. The thing is, we've reduced all the paperwork that banks will require, and now it's very easy for them to issue loans.
I might just go back to farming.
Oh, welcome.
Jacob, thank you very much. Jacob Maaga is the CEO of the PanAfrican Exchange. Well, it's time now for a short break. Still to come on Africa 54, who made the Time magazine's most influential list of 2015. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Africa 54. Here's what's trending. Kim and Kanye are among the Time magazine's most influential people of 2015. The issue features 5 separate covers featuring Kanye, actor Bradley Cooper, and more. The magazine features pairings of the list members and the guest contributors Time selects to write about them. The magazine's deputy managing editor says the list includes not only people who are influential now, but those whose influence is rising. Time will host its annual gala for its honorees in New York on April the 21st. Next up, after 10 years in business, e-commerce website Etsy went public Thursday, raising over $287 million and giving the company a value of more than $3.5 billion. Etsy says Etsy has seen its revenue surge over the last 3 years. The company has benefited from word-of-mouth marketing and customer loyalty that stems from its focus on empowering the creators of homemade and vintage goods. Well, and finally, fun, functional, and fabulous are the watchwords at this year's Milan Furniture Fair. With 2015 being named International Year of Light by UNESCO, the Euroluz exhibition is featuring a dazzling array of new lighting designs. There are endless rows of innovative light solutions, from the minimalist to the grandiose, including a hand-blown glass chandelier weighing 2,600 kilos. Another major trend this year is furniture made of recyclable materials. Many of the exhibitors are part of the AccuProducts network in the online showcase of the world's 2 designers with 2 million followers on Twitter. And that is what is trending today. Well, it's been a very exciting week in sports, and for all of the highlights, we're now turning to Sunny Young with us, Sunny's Side of Sports. Sunny.
Hi, Vincent, and sporty greetings once again to our Africa 54 viewers. The Chinese city of Shanghai was the venue this week for a big sports awards ceremony. The Shanghai Grand Theater hosted the annual Laureus World Sports Awards. Among those honored were 2 of China's biggest sports stars, former NBA player Yao Ming and now retired tennis player Li Na. The Sportsman and Sportswoman of the Year awards went to Serbian tennis star Novak Djokovic and Ethiopian athlete Genzeba Dibaba, who has set 3 world indoor records over the past 14 months. First, we'll hear from Genzeba and then Djokovic, who received his award in Monaco.
For me, for my family, and for my country of Ethiopia, I am so happy to win this award. Thank you.
Good evening, Shanghai, and greetings from Monaco. I would like to present this year's Sportsman of the Year award to Novak Djokovic.
Your Highness.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Ni hao, Shanghai, ni hao, China. I apologize for not being with you present tonight for the Laureus Awards. I'm very privileged to be here and to receive this award from Your Highness here in Monte Carlo. It's been a phenomenal 2014 for me, one of the best years of my life, with the highlights of winning Wimbledon and regaining the #1 of the world, and of course, more importantly, becoming a father and getting married. So I want to thank you once again. It's truly an honor to hold this beautiful award, and I hope you have a very pleasant evening. Thank you very much.
World Cup football champion Germany received the Laureus Sports Team of the Year award. Team manager Oliver Bierhoff said the squad performed amazingly on the pitch, and they were good ambassadors for Germany. I'm VOA's Sonny Young, and that's the sunny side of sports. Vincent?
Well, thanks a lot, Sonny, and remember to watch for the sunny side of sports every Monday and Friday right here on Africa 54. And that's our show for today. Be sure to watch Africa 54 on our website at voaafrica.com. For more news, tune in to VOA's evening radio show, Africa News Tonight at 1800 UTC, and in the mornings today, Break Africa between 0300 and 0600 UTC, Monday through Friday. We want to leave you now with the Peace Square with their song Collabo. Have a good night.
Na collabo, yeah. She wants some collabo. I can sing for you, you can sing for me. Yeah. She said she wants some collabo. She need them badly, be like tornado. She talks say I they play like Ronaldo. The thing they sweeter like Don Jose Minado. Eminado. We gon' go Monaco. I rock her body, give her Orlando. She just the holla, she the stream obrigado. As I the fire, I the call her Molato. My Molato. Oh yeah, baby, make we collabo. I know you want me collabo. Hey, yeah, I go sing for you, you go sing for me. Na collabo, she wants some collabo. Oh yeah, baby, make we collabo. I know you want me collabo. Hey, yeah, I go sing for you, you go sing for me. Na collabo, she wants some collabo. Yeah, as I don't show, yeah, she know the regret no more. How I know, Molato give unto me, come they get down low. My brain they scatter, I'm insane 'cause I don't blow, and I don't blow like say no tomorrow. If I don't get money, I get place to borrow. Say you they feel me, you they form, say you know no. I get your password and you know say I don't code.
Music is something that brings people together.
Music educates, it motivates, it's a bridge.
Music. Ali.
On
VOA.
qubanaha VOA waxaan ku soo gudbinnaa qubanayaal goosgoos oo xiiso badan oo ku saabsan arrimaha Soomaaliya, Mareykanka iyo caalamkaba.
haddaba qubanaha VOA-da kala soco website-keena voasomali.com.
From VOA Learning English, this is the Technology Report.
I'm Milar Sega. I'm the host of VOA's The Correspondence, a roundup of the world's top stories.
Here's a false choice in more ways than one.
We can't actually put you there, but we can come pretty close. In 30 minutes, we'll show you the world.